What's up, everyone? This is episode 113 of Nerds with Mics. I'm Justin.
Hi, I'm Emily. Hello.
And I am Travis.
And today we're going to be talking about Ted Lasso, Tribes of Midgard, Dexter, and EA Play. And I put those out of order so you don't know what to expect. But before we get to that nonsense, I want to know what you two have been up to. Also, as Terry's not here. He won't be on the show again tonight. But didn't he have something to say, or is he not ready for that yet, Travis?
He's not ready for that announcement yet.
My bad. Sorry, Terry.
Way to go. But yeah, we have we have some news coming, but not quite ready to make that announcement yet.
Yeah, I'm just rewind. That's the benefits of doing this live. Is that I get to say stupid. I should have asked before I clicked the button, but
it's fine, Bill O'Reilly.
We'll do
it live. All right, Travis, what have you been up to?
I'm so glad you remembered, because last week I completely skipped over this section and we had to go back to it. So good job remembering.
This is my favorite section.
Is it really?
Yeah, I like to hear what you guys have been up to.
Oh, okay. Well, so this week I've actually been up to, it's kind of embarrassing to say, I've been binge watching The Flash. I know it sounds really strange. I went back and started it over because I watched up till about season 5, then stopped watching, and it's been so long I don't remember what's going on, so I just decided to go back. My little sister actually started watching it, so I went back and I started rewatching it so I could talk to her about it. And then I actually booted up my Xbox because I got a new TV. I mentioned a few weeks ago I got an OLED TV, but I had yet to actually play my Xbox on it, so I booted it up, played a few games last night. And I have still yet to really dive into Mass Effect, but that is on my agenda. Watch the first episode of season 2 of Ted Lasso. We'll be talking about that here in a little bit. I've been I played. Oh, I forgot to mention last week. So I have two things. One, I want to wish Jared, a longtime listener and also a coworker, happy birthday. Today is his 21st birthday, so happy birthday, Jared. And I forgot to mention, happy birthday, 21st. Get crunk. But anyways, I don't know
and it's not. Well, I don't want to say his last name, but I goofed his last name last time, didn't I?
You sure did. But
wrong,
yeah, you did.
Happy birthday, Jared.
Yeah, so I want to wish him happy birthday. Also, he got super upset that when they asked me, when we were talking about what we've been up to last week, I forgot to mention that him and I played in a disc golf tournament. And so we did that last week. So I want to make sure everyone knows that Jared and I played in a disc golf tournament last week together. And we did surprisingly well for as little practices we did.
But, you got rained out, though, didn't you?
No. So we got the first round in. We got the first round completely in. We did surprisingly way better than we thought we would. And then the second round came, and we played half our second round through a monsoon. We played through because it wasn't lightning; it was just like sheets of rain. It was terrible. Yeah. But other than that, that's pretty much all I've been up to. So I will actually turn over to Emily. What have you been up to?
Oh gosh. Well, as from last week, my health was for the last couple of weeks was kind of real crappy. Had some issues with getting into some poison ivy all over my legs, and I've been going back and forth between urgent care, ER, doctor, dermatologist, all that stuff. Finally went to the dermatologist. They have me on a 3-week tapered steroid regimen that I'm on, I think, day 3 of now. So my emotions are like all kinds of crazy right now. I'm mad one second, emotional the next, and just like, is this what being pregnant feels like? Because if it is, no thanks. But I hadn't streamed like hardly at all for those weeks because I could barely sit in my chair here for even just like an hour. I couldn't even sit in the chair, but without my legs getting all itchy and stuff. So pretty much I did my first stream back in 2.5 weeks on Friday. Was it Friday? Or no? Yes, Friday. And it was just amazing. It was awesome. You as a streamer, you have those fears that people are going to like forget about you if you take too much time off. And they completely squashed those fears. I went to go get tea while my starting student admission screen was up. And I came back to like a level 4 hype train. People had gifted subs, people were gifting bits, people were just being so awesome and amazing.
Nice.
So
Making
it was
rain.
it was a great stream back.
Awesome.
You know, it was awesome. And I've mainly been playing Borderlands, of course. But I'm hanging in there with some Borderlands until Tribes of Midgard comes out on Tuesday, which is so excited for. I got the deluxe edition of that, which is so awesome. You get cats as pets if you pre-order the deluxe edition, which we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about Tribes of Midgard later. But yeah, no, that's been about it. Just and then Sky.
Right on cue.
Yeah, right on cue. Sky just walks into the picture. But
sticks her butt out. That's all you see.
It's just like a cute little wiggle butt. But I've been like working on my room, getting my stuff done up, and all that stuff in the meantime. But yeah, and I got a 2-camera setup on stream now, and it's looking really good. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
yeah. So Justin, what have you been up to?
So I also watched the premiere of Ted Lasso, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Emily, do you watch that show?
I don't have Apple TV. I need to get rid of one of the other things.
Yeah.
That I don't. So like I have Paramount, I have Paramount Plus, I have Hulu, I have Netflix, I have Disney Plus. Like I have all these things that I like literally don't watch. There's a few things I just don't watch. I need to get rid of one of them and get Apple TV so that I can watch that because it looks good. It looks really good.
Do you have a PS5?
I'm an Xbox and a PS5. I think Travis said I could do it on my Xbox. Or no, I have a PS4.
Well,
sorry.
No, if you download the app on your PS5, they're giving away 6 months for PS5 users right now.
Oh, dang. Yeah, no, I don't have a PS5, sadly. I just have an Xbox. Sorry.
Gotcha.
I said I did, but I have a PS4 and I have a Xbox One X.
Gotcha.
But what if? But my question is, what if somebody with a PS5 theoretically downloads it for you and sets up your account so you get 6 months free, and then you just log in to another device?
That's true.
We'll have to figure that out because your boy's got a PS5.
We'll have to talk.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I watched Ted Lasso, and this has been a very MMORPG heavy week for me. I resubbed to Final Fantasy 14, but I'm loving it. Don't get me wrong, but I made the mistake of doing it at the same time that the New World beta started. And have you all heard of New World?
That.
I have.
Yeah, I have it pre-ordered, but I've not played it.
I highly recommend playing it. The beta ends.
The second.
I think the 2nd of August. Yeah, and I'm hooked.
A lot of people I know are hooked.
Yeah, it's unlike other MMOs.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me, like it's like it takes things from like all the different MMOs in a way, but also then borrows elements from like games like Rust and Ark, which you know how much I love those games. So it really is right up my alley, I feel like. And I'm really having a good time. I'm actually at the point in the beta where I'm like, I don't really want to keep playing it because I just want to play the real thing in August when it comes out. But yeah, I did jump into Final Fantasy 14 again. Been playing some of that. And yeah, I started Arrested Development again. That's been my life. So
Nice.
The reason why I'm not playing New World yet is because I obviously like had my hiatus, and so I didn't get really into it all like right when it first dropped.
Yeah.
Plus, none of your progress carries over to the full game. So that's my only thing. I'm just kind of like, Tribes of Midgard comes out, I'm just gonna play that.
Yeah. Well, I can't really say much. It was NDA, but I was in the closed alpha, and I will just say I had written the game off at that point.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'd forgot I'd pre-ordered it to get into the closed alpha, so they sent me my beta code. So I was like, okay, I'll download it, and I've been pleasantly surprised. So it wasn't even on my radar of something that I wanted until the beta. So if we all get it, we need to jump on the same server 100%. And join the same faction.
Like 5 players, I'm pretty sure 5 player total in a game, and can't remember what I was going to say next. It'll come to me.
Okay. All right. So that's what I've been up to. Travis.
What?
Ted Lasso. Let's talk about some Ted
I
Lasso.
thought you were about to ask me what I've been up to. I was like, Justin,
tell me again. Tell me again.
No. Well, speaking of which, yeah. So I've been up to Ted Lasso. That's what I've been up to. And I've also been reminded, which of course, you know, all the new Marvel shows have been weekly episodes, but, you know, going back and binge watching the first season of Ted Lasso to get ready for the second season, I'm reminded how sad I get every week that I have to wait. Oh, okay. I thought you were about to play that scene from the first episode.
No, that's just the trailer.
But yeah, Ted Lasso season 2 premiere. I was kind of nervous because the season 1 set the bar really high for me.
Mhm.
And I'll be honest, 3 minutes into 3 minutes into this first episode, and I was not disappointed.
Yep. So there's another character on the show, if you're not familiar with it, named Danny Rojas, and he's probably just as optimistic as Ted Lasso. And something happens.
Football's life.
Something tragic happens during a game, and I don't know. We can spoil it. I guess it's not a big deal. He kills a dog by accident.
Not only a dog, but it's the team's mascot.
It's a penalty kick, and the dog gets loose. It's actually.
It was an accident. It was
we
an
saw
accident.
this right here. It's this penalty kick, except whenever the ball, when everyone does that, he just obliterates that dog.
So essentially, what's happening is the dog is chasing a bird.
Yeah.
And it jumps up to grab the bird, and as it's flying through the air to grab the bird, the ball just pings the dog. And the name of the episode is Goodbye Earl, which Earl is the name of the dog, which is the mascot for the team. And needless to say, it starts off season 2 with a bang.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, Travis, season 1 did set the bar so high, and I was cautious, I guess, going into this one, thinking that, can they do it twice? And I feel like they did. Kayla actually, when it was over, she didn't really enjoy it as much as the first season. Hopefully, I think there's like 9 more episodes to change her mind on that. But yeah, I thought it was just as good as the first season. That charm, great character development. I mean, I'm loving Roy Kent's storyline so far this season.
Yeah.
Which we're only, 1 episode in, but I'm loving that he's like having reality TV wine nights with old ladies.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me, he doesn't remind me of this character, but it kind of reminds me when I watched the first season of Ted Lasso, it reminded me of when I watched Lost, and I hated Sawyer in the very beginning of the show, but by the end of the show, he was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Roy. At the very beginning, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this guy. This guy's an asshole. But by the end of season 1, I was like in his corner. I was like, Roy's the man. And then carrying over to season 2, Roy just continues to be the man. When he's giving, I can't remember the club owner's name. I can't remember her name. Do you remember her name?
No, I can't.
But anyway, she's basically like going on a date with this guy, and they want to. Yeah, Rebecca. They want to know, like, they go on a double date, and at the end of the date leaves, and they want to know, like, what their opinion is of this guy, and the girlfriend is like, oh, he's okay, he's nice, he's fine, and then Roy just like gives it to her straight, and it's like he's an asshole about it, but he's also being like really nice and like, you know what I mean, Justin? It's like that, like I just like his character's dynamic, and I also like the fact that he is coaching after he's retired. He's now coaching a little girl's soccer team.
Under nine.
And he calls all those kids little pricks, and then that parent comes up and says, "You can't call them little pricks, even if they are being little pricks," which is pretty funny. But yeah, Emily, I would definitely recommend if you get a chance, watch the first season, especially since season 2 is just starting. But yeah, I'm excited for what the rest of the season has for sure. So yeah.
All right. So Emily, Travis, did you watch?
I did not watch Dexter. So if you and Emily watched it, you guys will probably be in this conversation.
You've watched it, right, Emily?
I have watched most of it. The ending got ruined for me as I was watching it, so I never fully finished it. But I understood, like, I know like how, like, the gist of it and all that stuff.
Yeah. Do you know that it was one of the worst endings in television history? Okay.
Yes,
right.
That's why I didn't finish it, because I was like, I am not watching the rest of this, because I think I had like a couple seasons left. I was like, there's no way I'm watching this if that's how it's going to end.
How far did you get, do you think?
Oh gosh.
The last season is just, don't even watch it.
Right.
Don't even watch it.
I think I've gotten to how many seasons were there? What, 8? 9?
I'll look it up while you guys are talking.
Yeah, I think there
like
were
8 or 9. So I think I was into like season 5 or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe season
that was a good
6.
one.
Yeah. And I just got angry because it was such a good season, and then they were just like, "Oh, we're gonna end it this way," and I'm like,
Yeah.
So, but this looks good. This looks like, because it's like 10 years into the future. I read up on it. It's 10 years into the future. And they've done a few of like the teaser trailers and stuff as you see here. And there's one, like a bunch of few little short snippets of like him popping up in the window. But you can see the reflection of somebody wrapped in plastic in the window.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to be really good. I'm excited.
Yeah, I like how he's going by the alias Jim Lindsay. I'm assuming that's an homage to the author and creator of Dexter, Jeff Lindsay, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so you actually sent this to me. I didn't know this was out. You sent it earlier in our group text. Comes out November 7th on Showtime. It does have a subtitle to it, which I don't know. Are they treating it like it's a spin-off show, or is it just something maybe to let people know that, hey, this is different from the crap we put out 10 years ago? Please watch.
I wonder if he had a kid.
He has one in the show.
Right. He has one in the show.
Yeah.
But then he has like a new love interest in this, it seems like.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he like started over, he started a new life, he got married, maybe he had another kid, and 10 years down the road, this kid's having, the same, issues that he had, back when he was a kid. So I'm wondering if the new blood title is something along those lines, like he's teaching his son how to control it. So, and they're a few of them are there's a few people reprising their roles via flashbacks. So.
Okay. Yeah, I know that they said that John Lithgow is going to be coming back, and I think Jennifer Carpenter as well.
Yes.
There's 8 seasons, by the way, and this will be season 9.
Yes.
Okay.
They're calling this the revival season. It's going to be 10 episodes.
Are they planning on doing any more after this? Do we know?
I say if it does well, they probably would.
So I do know
how
that.
It ends.
Yeah, I do know years and years ago when the show was coming to an end, the head of Showtime basically said that Dexter is to us what Batman is to Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So of course there's going to be more Dexter. So I do think that statement alone would kind of imply that we'll get something, another show or a movie. I think Dexter would actually work really well as a movie. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. I know that the last season really sucked, but I'm foolish and stubborn, and I can't wait to watch this one. So
yeah, same.
All right. Let's see here. Did any of you watch or follow EA Play 2021?
No, I did not, but I would love to hear what you have to say. When was that? That was like a few days ago.
Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday. If I'm being honest, all of it didn't really appeal to me. I'm not an Apex Legends fan. Are you, Emily?
I've played it in the past, but it wasn't like something that I was really good at.
Yeah.
I never really had teams that I played with. And it was a fun game, but it kind of got old real quick. Kind of like Fortnite, kind of like Fortnite at the beginning was like really good, and then it kind of got old real quick because they kept doing all these really crazy, weird things with it. Yeah, I'm not a super huge fan of EA. Never really have been. But I mean, Battlefield though. I like Battlefield.
The Battlefield. So they announced a new thing for Apex Legends. They announced the new season of Knockout City, which is going to have a movie theme. Did you guys play Knockout City? It was pretty fun.
That's a dodgeball one, right?
Yeah.
I played a handful of games, and it was interesting.
Yeah, I had a good time with it. Grid Legends, which didn't really appeal to me. Codemasters and EA are making that one. Lost in Random, which looked, just okay. I'm really only following EA for like Mass Effect, Dragon Age,
yeah,
some of the sports games that I like to play. That's pretty much it for them. And Battlefield, but they did show Battlefield 2042 and Battlefield Portal. So did you guys look at Battlefield Portal? Did you see the trailer for that one?
No. Is it? It's like set in. It's kind of like it jumps around in time, doesn't it?
It's like a multiplayer game mode where you can mix and match game modes, weapons, factions, vehicles, everything across the entire Battlefield universe, kind of. So I know like there's a Battlefield subreddit I was looking at, and they were coming up like, I'm gonna have like 10 fully armed World War II soldiers go against 50 unarmed like future mech troopers or something crazy. So you can kind of make all these weird scenarios. The trailer was really cool. It had like a hint, like an Easter egg for Bad Company, which was really nice because I think that's really the only game anybody really wants from them at this point is Battlefield Bad Company.
Yeah.
But that looked cool. But the big thing that came in was the reveal of Dead Space, which is going to be a Dead Space remake. I don't know all the details on this one. I actually never played Dead Space. Did you?
Yeah,
I got scared in like
You
the
got scared?
first like 15 minutes, and I was like, nope, and I quit.
yeah, I actually played it. It plays very much like a survival horror game, even though it's like set in space and kind of set in the future. It plays like a survival horror game. It kind of has. Did y'all ever play Alien Isolation?
Yes.
Another one that I tried.
It kind of has that feel to it, where it's like you get those feelings like you're being watched and you're hearing noises and there's jump scares, and it's really cool. So I'm excited that they're remaking this, and it's going to be obviously for next gen and stuff too. So that's exciting.
Yeah, they did say there will be no microtransactions, which is something that happened with Dead Space 3 that really turned the community off. But it looks like we won't even see gameplay until 2022. So it looks like it's pretty far away.
Yeah, I was really hoping that with EA Play we would hear something about the new Dragon Age, because they did confirm they're working on new Dragon Age, right? We just haven't really seen anything about it.
Yeah, and they did show off another game that's kind of people have been waiting for, Skate 4. They showed off like a behind the scenes like studio thing for that one. And then they still have Mass Effect 4 in development. I mean, they have a lot of what should be quality games coming out, in the next 3-4 years, hopefully.
Yeah.
Dragon Age 4, this is from VentureBeat. It's on track to be released in 2023 at the moment.
So Battlefield Portal gave me vibes of like Halo's not Foundry. What would they call it? Was it
Forge?
Forge, yes, thank you. It kind of gave me like, so can you make your own maps? Can you is that what it is? Because it kind of like a little bit of what I saw, it kind of made me feel like you could just throw just all this crap in and around and just play however you wanted. So I was wondering if it was kind of like the Forge in Halo.
I don't know. I took it more as just scenario based, but it's possible that you can make your own map or maybe adjust certain things on the map. Let's see here. Battlefield Portal will allow you to play and create custom Battlefield modes using maps and guns from 2042, Battlefield 1942, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3. Let's see here. It isn't a spatial map editor. These are not full mod tools, so no. But maybe that's something they could think about later.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if the mode becomes popular, I definitely think it's something maybe they can build on. I know that a lot of people. I know it's a different company, but I know that the map editor for hey, it's your boy Cortland. I know that. Yeah, I know the map editor for Far Cry is like huge, and the community loves it. Which obviously I know it's a completely different company, but I think if the community gets behind it and they start creating some really cool stuff, then possibly.
I think that Battlefield 6 isn't going to have a map editor.
It better.
Or Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6. Sorry.
Yeah, they're going away from that, probably because the hot water they got in with GoldenEye. No,
yeah, it says Far Cry 6 will not feature arcade mode or a map editor. Which is a bummer.
Yeah, one thing, Justin, I know we don't have it in the notes, but one of the things that I want to talk about real quick before we move on is, and I'm not going to be able to, obviously, I don't think, share my screen because I'm doing it on a different device, but I want to talk about, last week we mentioned Ubisoft's X Defiant, their game reveal, and I know we said that we would bring it up this week. You actually watched the reveal, right?
Yeah.
And what'd you think? It's their free-to-play game, right?
Yeah, it like the gunplay looked all right. Like it looked decent. But the game itself just kind of looks.
I was going to pull up a trailer, but because I'm doing it on a computer I haven't shared with before, it wants me to like
restart,
and I can't obviously do that. But
we got time.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the gunplay is. It's Division gunplay, but in first person. That's how it felt to me.
Okay.
When I watched the little bit of like gameplay that I watched of it, it kind of felt like if you took Division 2 and put it into first person view instead of third person view, that's what the gunplay felt like and looks like to me. And it had like, I think it's gonna have like different game modes, if I'm not mistaken. But it's gonna be just their answer to a free to play game, because everyone has one now, right? We've got every company's doing free to play games, Apex Legends and Ubisoft and
they're supporting them too. That's
Epic,
the big thing.
Yeah,
like they're really pumping content.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they're going to do microtransactions, because since it's free to play, they have to make their money somehow. So they're going to do microtransactions, and you know what? I will give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not one of those things that, like, if I play like a stream worth of it and I'm just like not feeling it, I probably won't play it again.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was just gonna say. So, it's gonna feature 6v6 arena battles and the objective-based game modes like team deathmatch, domination, and escort. Also, at launch, they're going to have 4 factions. One is the Wolves, which is from Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. One is the Echelon, which is from Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, and then Outcasts and Cleaners, which is from Tom Clancy's The Division. So it looks like they're pulling from franchises to create content for this game as far as that goes. I would much rather just have a new Splinter Cell game. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah. The cleaner stuff in Division is awesome.
Yes, it is.
I remember the cleaner stuff in Division. It was great.
So Cortland threw up a comment. He said Division gunplay would be nice in a battle royale setting. Cortland, I think we might be getting that with Division Heartland. It's actually a free-to-play Division game that was in alpha testing back in April, May. And I know that there was a pretty significant leak of that. And if you look hard enough on the internet, you can probably find it. But from what people said, it was a battle royale. So that would be cool.
I'm surprised if they would do that and this, though. That kind of surprises me, because that feels it would, you think it would be like almost very similar and they would just be competing against each other, and you wouldn't want that. That may be a weird move on their part.
Which I don't know how far away either one of these games are. I'm way more interested in what I saw for the Division one than I am X Defiant, though. I can say that. So if I happen to find that information, which I may have somewhere, I'll share it with you guys.
Yeah, I need to see that. I haven't heard anything about the Division Heartland stuff.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
Yep. All right, Emily.
Ooh.
I think you would like to discuss a game that we talked about last week, Tribes of Midgard.
Tribes of Midgard. I'm so excited for this, Tribes of Midgard. I've learned a lot of new stuff about the game here just in the last couple days. I didn't really there was a lot of information out there, but there wasn't like a whole lot of like easily found information in the game. But there is a few things that are really cool about what Northfell and Gearbox is doing with Tribes of Midgard. There's a program called the Midgardian program, and what it is it's a free to sign up. Anybody can sign up at any point, even after the game launches. And what it entails is it's almost like a loyalty program mixed with a, you scratch our back, we'll scratch your back type thing. So if they have quests every week, and you will be able to complete these quests, which is maybe sharing something on social media, or maybe just, making a YouTube video of it, or if you're a content creator, or doing something like on all the different social media platforms. But you have to, stay active in the program. So it's not one of those things where like you just get accepted in the program and then you're always in it. You have to actually do the quest weekly. If you don't do the quest for 3 weeks, then you're out of the program. But it's not one of those things where you have to have a huge following on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube to be part of it. There's been plenty of people that don't stream that are actually being accepted into it. I applied for it. I didn't know about it until a couple days ago, so I applied pretty late to it, but fingers crossed I get in it as well. But it is a roguelike, Tribes of Midgard. It is a different type of roguelike, though, because what it entails is normal roguelikes, you die, you're done, you go back to the beginning, and you have to start all over again, right? Well, with this, you can die, but you can revive as long as your tree in the center of your town is still alive. So essentially, obviously, as you can see in the video here, you're building your walls, you're protecting your tree, the tree of life in the center of your village. Now, if the giant that you see here is, gets to your village and destroys your tree, then your world is done. It is completely over. You do not get to go back to that world. You have to start over again. The maps are going to be procedurally generated. So it's one of those things where you are not going to really know where to go each time. There's going to be a ton of exploring in this game. Obviously the environment looks absolutely beautiful. And I love procedurally generated games. I think that they're some of my favorite types of games because it's something new every time. It's a new experience every time. There's crafting. There's going to be crafting in the game. You're going to be able to craft your armor, but most importantly, you're going to be able to craft your weapons. And the thing about crafting with your weapons and stuff, you want to craft based on what giant that you have in your world, and that's coming for your tree. So as you saw in there was a dark giant. She had the portals. There was a fire giant with a sword. There was a ice giant, and then there was a tornado giant. And each one of those giants do have things that they are susceptible to. So they have weaknesses. So the ice giant is susceptible to fire, and the fire giant is susceptible to ice, and the dark is susceptible to lightning, and the storm giant is dark. So you have to go out and scout in your world. You have to go find resources to build your defenses and your weapons. So while you're out, if you find one of these giants, you can scout it, you can see what its weaknesses are, and you can see what its trajectory is going to be. And they even did something, they posted on Twitter, and there was an article about these are the first 4 giants that we're going to get when the game first comes out, but these aren't all the giants we're going to get. But they also gave us tips and tricks on how to defeat them. So the one thing that I thought was really cool is the tornado, the storm giant. They said if you get that one, you actually want to take it down to half health before it gets to your defenses. So, which I thought was really cool. And then I think they said the dark giant, they actually had this bug when they were making the game that caused something with its little minions to spawn, and they ended up leaving it in the game, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love that. I love that kind of stuff. But honestly, I think this is a game that people are sleeping on, and I think that people need to not sleep on it because it, in my opinion, is going to be a lot of people are comparing it to Valheim and stuff like that, but I think it's going to be more interesting and more crazy and more fun. You have 10 player co-op, which is crazy. You're going to start out with 2 classes, if I'm not mistaken, warrior and a berserker, I think. And then each time there's going to be I think 8 classes, and each class you have to do something with the sagas, with teammates and with people to be able to unlock those other classes. So there's going to be healer classes, there's going to be tank classes, there's going to be range classes, all that stuff. So it's going to be dope. And I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this game as well. The 10-player co-op without crossplay makes me anxious, though.
Now, PS4 and PS5 can crossplay.
Yeah.
But PC and PS4, PS5 can't crossplay.
Yeah, I hope that they add that, because I think getting a 10-player group will be next to impossible if they don't, for just the casual gamer. Well,
that's the thing, though. You don't have to.
Yeah.
It is a drop-in, drop-out co-op type game, just like Borderlands is. And the more people you have, obviously, the harder the enemies are going to be. So, because you have more people in there, and you have more power in there. So if you just want to do it solo, you can do it solo. Or if you want to do it with 2 people, 4 people, 5 people, it's not a big deal. You're still going to be able to do the same thing that a 10-player group would do. It's obviously just going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And you retain you do retain stuff when, even if your tree dies. I think you retain some resources, just things that you learn. So as you go through, you might die after, 15, 20 minutes, or your tree might die after 15, 20 minutes. And then at that point, you get to retain anything that you've learned. And so when you start up with that character again, you already know these things, and then that gives you the ability to, go further, longer, and stuff like that. So
What are you picking this up on, Emily?
PC.
PC.
It's on Steam. And it's only, I believe it's like their deluxe edition, if I'm not mistaken, is like $30.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's
That's not
not.
bad at all.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually opening Steam because I don't want to be like wrong on that.
No, you're right.
But,
It's 30 for
is it
deluxe,
30?
20
Okay.
for standard. I didn't know
Yeah.
it was that cheap. I thought it was like
Yeah.
a full like.
Nope. Yep.
Yeah.
And seasonal events. They've already have a roadmap of four different seasonal events. The first one's the season of the wolf, and you pretty much, or the saga is what they're calling them, saga of the wolf. And each season has its own like quest and things that you got to do. And it's all free updates. So once you buy the game, everything that comes out afterwards will be free. So.
Yeah, I think with the companies such as Gearbox behind this game, because we know obviously how much content they pour into the Borderlands games and how long they support those games after launch. And, I'm really excited for the stuff that they're going to bring to this game, because a lot of times when you get games like this, I know Blizzard's really good about supporting games like Diablo and stuff like that, even still to this day. However, I think Gearbox is going to continue to add new classes, and the amount of content that they'll continue to bring to this game, I think, is really what's going to make this game special. Yeah. And the fact that it's a 10-player co-op game. After we had our conversation, after our episode last week, I immediately went and started watching a bunch of videos on this game just to familiarize myself, because I didn't know about it until you had brought it up on the show, and just looking at the gameplay and stuff. It was a little different than I'm pictured in my mind, as far as I expect to be more like Diablo than it was. It's like a mixture of a bunch of types of games together, like Diablo style and like Valheim, and also like
what game? Which one, Travis?
I meant to say Valheim is what I meant to say. You wouldn't let it slide, but thank you.
I can't.
But yeah, in the crafting, it's just like they pulled a lot of elements from a bunch of different games, and it looks really, really cool. So, and I think really you get to kind of pick the difficulty that you want to play at, because can't you do like survival light mode, or if you're like more interested in just doing more like adventure style, you can do that too?
Yeah, there is a survival, which is solo, which makes it a little bit easier if you're just a casual player. And then there's the saga modes, and then the 10-player co-op. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a play style for everyone with this game, which I think is awesome. There's a lot of games out there that only cater to one or the other, and this I think will cater to a little bit of everybody, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think about the Midgardian program that I brought up in the beginning. They'll you get it's like I said, it's a loyalty thing too. So you'll get like cosmetics and stuff like that maybe you'll get if you complete your quest and stuff. So I think it's going to be a really, really awesome game. Strike me down if I'm wrong, but I don't think anybody needs to sleep on this game. I think especially for the price that it is, if you absolutely hate it, you've wasted $20. And that's it. And you probably are going to get $20 worth of play out of it, at least.
Well, not only that, but you also have Steam's return policy. If you absolutely hate it, and you played less than 2 hours in less than a week, I mean, you can always return it. But I have a feeling that most people that play this, if you're into that style of game, now obviously if you don't know if you like the top-down dungeon crawler survival type games, then you might not like it. But I think as long as you like games that are already in that wheelhouse, I think you'll probably walk away pretty excited.
Yeah, that always makes me angry when people pick up a game and they look at it and they go, I'll just try it, but then they hate those types of games, and then they leave bad reviews, or they say it's a bad game, and I'm like, well, why is it a bad game? Well, I don't like that type of game. Well, then why did you buy it? People did that with Biomutant. People did that with Biomutant, and it made me so angry because I loved Biomutant. I thought it was really, really good. I love the style of Biomutant, and I actually left a Steam review on it. And I was like, if you love open world RPG, crafting system, hack and slash mixed with the bullet time shooting type style games, then you're gonna love this game. But if you hate any of that, then don't buy it. And people were like, thanks for this review, and I'm like, you're welcome. I mean, it's just my honest opinion. Don't buy a game or leave a nasty review, especially if you got it for free. that was the big thing with Biomutant. Lots of people got that game for free. And then they gave such an awful review on it. And I'm like, that's fine if you didn't like it, but also say that maybe you don't like those types of games in the first place type thing. So, like Anthem is a great game that got a lot of hate.
He loves Anthem.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, Anthem, I think Anthem could have done better.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they definitely could have supported that game way, way better than they did. I played the beta and then canceled my pre-order on that game, though.
Yeah. I didn't cancel my pre-order, which
I bet you wish you would have.
Yeah. Which is funny because the new Avengers game that came out from Square Enix is basically just a more fleshed out Anthem.
Yeah.
Like gameplay. I mean, it is.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Steam, does anybody have anything else about Trials of Midgard before we move on?
Nope.
Tribes.
Tribes. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I think I've made that mistake before too.
Yeah. But so speaking of Steam, because we were talking about Steam, I want to make a couple points about Steam Deck. So I know we talked about it last week, but there's a couple things that had came out that I just wanted to mention. It wasn't in our show notes, but it was some stuff that I had seen that I thought was interesting. I thought it was worth mentioning. So there's talks that the Steam Deck may also play cartridge style games based off like an SD card. Kind of like almost like the Switch would, which I thought was interesting, but it also I feel like goes against it goes against the Steam ecosystem at that point. You know what I mean? But I guess for people that have problems with crappy internet, things like that, or if you have problems with storage, it might be a good solution. But I thought that was pretty interesting. So that's one point. The other one was there was concerns about the performance of games running on this thing, and a lot of people were concerned about how many frames per second most games would run and things like that. And the basically the CEO of Valve came out and said that 30 frames per second was the bottom floor of what they wanted to be able to run. So it'll at least run at 30, if not higher. So you shouldn't have any concerns in that regard. And then also to follow up on a comment that Emily had made last week, because it has been a concern about being able to play online games with software that uses anti-cheat system stuff. So they came out and said, Valve has said that they haven't found a single game that won't run on the Steam Deck because of that software. And I was watching a video after we had gotten off the podcast, because I started going down a rabbit hole about Tribes of Midgard and also the Steam Deck. And he had said that they were working closely with developers specifically around that. So the games that people want to be able to play and enjoy online using the Steam Deck would be able to work even though they have that software. And they said as of right now, they haven't found an online game that will not run because of that software. So I just wanted to kind of give an update on that as well, because I know that Dead by Daylight is a big one that people like to play, and I know that was one of the games that they were kind of concerned about. But yeah, so it'll be able to play online without any issue. There's a cat butt right there. Thanks. You couldn't have waited until the show was over to get all up in my grill. But anyways, that's the only thing that I wanted to add. It looks like Cortland says, Die Hard, all my friends left me in that game. I assume he's still talking about Anthem, right?
Anthem, yeah, he's really upset about Anthem. He really, really likes Anthem.
Sorry, Cortland.
It's not going to happen, man.
I can't tell if he's trolling or he's being serious.
No, he genuinely loves Anthem.
Yeah.
And if you ask him, and don't get me wrong, Cortland's a great guy, but he thinks Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie ever made.
Well, I mean
it's good.
It is one of the better ones, and it's better than Solo.
But it's not number one. That's Empire.
Okay. Well, we won't get into that.
This is the roast of
considering
Cortland.
the whole aspect of Star Wars, then yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, bud.
All right.
Sorry, bud.
Well, he's never going to listen again.
He hates us. He hates me. Yeah. All right. Let's get into everyone's favorite segment, the pick of the week.
The pick of the week. Ba-da-da. Oh, there you go.
Ba-da-da.
Ba-da-da.
I'm going to start with Emily. What's your pick of the week?
So, like I said, I didn't start doing really much of anything until the end of the week. I've been playing Borderlands, but I will say this. Jesse and I have been rewatching Game of Thrones. I think I might have mentioned it last week, but I watched Game of Thrones the whole way through from beginning to end, and haven't really watched it since the last season. was like the last, season with Daenerys and burning everybody alive and all that fun stuff. Spoiler alert, by the way.
I
And
haven't finished it.
but it's not that big of a spoiler alert.
I'm in season 2. I don't care.
So,
Justin, you've had time.
yeah, you've had time. So that last season, a lot of people hated, and I wasn't very keen on how it ended either. But now we're going back through and we're watching it, and I look at Jessica and I'm like, I understand why she did this in the end. Like you don't really get it and understand until you go back and rewatch everything all together and actually see like how much crap she went through, and like literally like everything that happened to her pretty much just led up to her. I don't blame her for burning everybody alive. I don't do it. I don't blame her. I think she was in the right at that point. Should what happened to her at the end happen to her? I don't know. I still would have rather it have been a little bit different ending, but I actually we've been rewatching that, and it's been really good. And we've been watching it before just while we're eating or whatever, just have it on in the background. But yeah, so that's my pick of the week. It's an old pick, but it's a goodie. It's a goodie. I recommend for anybody who disliked the last season, has been watching it from the very beginning, to go back through and watch it all again, and you might have a different outlook on how this show ended.
Okay. Travis, what is your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is actually a podcast. I finally took Terry's advice and started listening to the shoot. Now the name has left me. It's so good, I forgot about it. It's the one that he's been talking about that talk about movies every week.
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost podcast, maybe I think is what it's called. Possibly.
I think that's what it was.
Terry, if I'm mistaken, I'm sorry, but I started listening to that. They actually did an episode of like top 100 movies of all time in like no particular order, and I actually listened to that episode recently, and it was really good, and I'm excited to continue to listen to that. I haven't listened to a whole lot of podcasts here lately, so it's been nice to have something new to listen to. I was listening a lot to Last Podcast on the Left, but I haven't listened to that in a while, so I was looking for a new podcast to listen to. And
you said you listened to Smartlist, right?
What is it?
Did you listen to Smartlist? Didn't you try that one?
No, I have no idea what you're referring to.
Or maybe it was. Oh, Terry's the one that listens to it. Never mind. Terry listens to it, not you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's a good show.
Yeah, well, maybe I will now that you've told me about it. But yeah, that's and I also still need to watch whatever one of our listeners, Justin, keeps asking about the new scary movies on Netflix. I have not watched any of those.
Fear Street.
Yeah, me neither. I still need to. I still need to watch that Wes Anderson movie too. I still have yet to do it. I need to. I know. I'm sorry.
Sorry. But other than that, that's my pick of the week. What about you, Justin?
So my pick is the New World beta.
Yeah.
Not
even Ted Lasso.
I'd already made up my mind on this one because I was like, Travis is going to take Ted Lasso.
I specifically didn't because I didn't want to steal yours. I thought that'd be it.
See, this is what happens when we don't communicate beforehand.
Yeah,
the New World beta is like, it's just really good. And like I said earlier in the show, it borrows a lot from MMOs. It borrows a lot of my favorite features from MMOs, and it takes some from the survival crafting games that I like, and it like kind of meshes them all together into a really neat idea. And obviously with MMOs, who knows, with in-game content and stuff like that. But right now I'm having a good time. Looking forward to release.
How does it feel? Pretty polished at this point? Because I played alpha and it was real rough.
Alpha was a mess. Yeah.
I was talking to someone who's been playing it, and they said that that cat is just in love with the camera. So the big thing is they're doing updates, taking servers down and doing updates every single night. That was what I was going to say earlier, and I forgot. That is a big, big thing, because a lot of companies that do betas, they just write everything down and then they do this huge patch right before it releases, and then everything's broken when it releases. So the fact that they're doing these patches every single night, that's making the game better, and it's going to make it even better when it releases. So I love that, and I'm excited for when it actually does release.
And like so for instance, Trevor, the combat in this game, it's not like your typical MMO where you just click like one 7, 4, and like use a hotbar,
Yeah.
right? You do have 3 attacks assigned to a hotbar, but basically it's an action game where like you click to shoot or swipe your sword. You actually have to aim your gun. If you have a bow, wow, I had a stroke. If you have a bow, you actually have to like click the right mouse button to
pull
pull.
your
It's just like a game, like any other game. Actually, I'm gonna get roasted for saying this. It feels like a watered down, like the gameplay, a watered down version of The Witcher.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But
Well,
that's my pick.
are the graphics good? That's all I care about.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Just kidding. All right. Well, cool. Well, Justin, why don't you take us home, bro hand?
All right. This has been episode 113 of Nerds with Mics. Please like, subscribe, share, follow, leave a review. You can tune in Sundays at 8:30 live, or check us out an hour or so after the show airs. That cat on your favorite podcasting app. And until then, we'll see you.
Question.
God, I was about to close it out.
I know. I wanted to give Emily a second before we close out to let our listeners know where they can find you, what your schedule is for streaming, things like that.
Yeah. Well, my schedule's Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Mondays and Tuesdays, I try to do a little bit earlier streams, like any time between noon and 6 of a start time. I'm really bad at having a set start time, so forgive me, but I will be live those days. Tuesday is when Tribes of Midgard drops, and I will be doing that. That goes live. The servers go live on PC at, I believe, noon Eastern. So I will be live doing that, maybe just shortly after that. And then Thursdays are like an evening stream, and then Fridays and Saturdays I usually do late streams for like my English and European viewers and stuff like that. But I'm on, as you can see, the link below, twitch.tv/Mystique Siren, and then on Twitter I always post whenever I go live and all that jazz. But yeah, if you want to see some Tribes of Midgard gameplay Tuesday, it's gonna be awesome. So, and I'll be playing with lots of people.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.